Hey everybody, this is Joe. We're talking about Marvel Multiverse, and I want to talk about getting schooled in Tony's workshop. So a little bit ago, I did a video talking about the kind of proposed rules changes that were inside of Tony's workshop. And one of them that I said I liked the look of was called Getting Schooled, which was an alternate way of ranking up the characters. At the time that this came out, I was actually starting a brand new campaign, and I decided for this campaign I would give a try to the alternate ranking up system provided inside of Tony's workshop. Well, I've been doing it for a few months now, and I'd like to report on what it's like. The idea behind the Getting Schooled ranking system is that you get parts of the next rank periodically throughout the rank you are currently in. And this means that your character is constantly changing. But on the flip side, when you actually achieve a new rank, you get less out of that moment. Well, I've been doing this for a little while, and it kind of looks like this. When you get a new rank, you get 5 ability points, 1 trait, and either 4 powers if you go into a new power set, or 5 powers if you do not. So this adds up to either 10 or 11 new things that happen as you achieve a new rank. Please note that 2 things that happen when you achieve a new rank that are not part of this system are 1 additional point of karma and your damage multiplier going up when it is based on the actual rank that you have obtained, not one that you are going into. So when you actually achieve a new rank, your damage multiplier does go up and your number of karma points goes up as well. That is not part of this system. This breaks a rank into either 10 or 11 very small chunks. And I have found I love this system. The way that it works in practice is that every time that there is some kind of intensive training or combat or other form of encounter, every time that my players move the plot forward in some substantive way, they get an additional part of the next rank. I'd like to point out that if you went strictly by this system, you would actually have a game that ranks up, I believe, more slowly. In other words, taking longer than a traditional campaign that ranks up at very specific plot moments, such as the way that Cataclysm of Kang is actually structured. But it doesn't have to be that way. For instance, with me, I still very much am a story-based ranking up type of game master in all of the games that I run. And so when my players have achieved a set of goals or aims that really is meant for rank 2 or rank 3 or whatever, at that moment I finish ranking them up and I give them all of the remaining pieces. And that means that they achieve ranks as they enter new whole parts of the story. But throughout the section that they are in, they are constantly getting something new. This happens every single game session. First of all, my players love this. Every time that something exciting is happening, they know they're going to get something, and I let them choose. I'm not going to micromanage this. They can choose an ability point, a power, so long as they meet the prerequisites, or they can choose their trait for the next rank. And this means every game session, they have something new to play with and something new to look forward to. It encourages them to actually think about the build of their characters and where they want it to go. So they have ideas of exactly what this character is going to look like, not just in 4 or 5 game sessions when they achieve rank 3 or 4 or whatever's next, but also what are they going to do to get there? What are the building pieces that they want to utilize? For me, I don't feel a stress that it's taking too long to get to the next rank. For instance, if my players spend a game session doing investigation and gathering intelligence, if they spend more time talking to NPCs, they don't feel that this is taking too long to get to the next rank. The pacing is something that actually always feels relatively appropriate. We've all had that feeling where, hey, I've kind of gone a little while without a new rank for my players in a game. I'd like to I feel pressure to kind of move that along. That no longer happens. And remember, since we realistically have at minimum 10 different things to hand out, If you only did one per game session, that is 10 game sessions between ranks. That's 60 games. That's a very long time. You can easily move faster than that, as I have said, but this means that pacing is now a little bit even more inside of your control, and yet your players don't feel that they are missing out on something. It also means that every game is truly different. When one of my players took a new mighty power or added flight or something like that, the character behaved differently the next game relative to the one before it. And this is true for all of them. And so they get to talking about the things that they're taking, and they plot about where their characters are going and how they want their characters to develop throughout time. And that means that they take the world seriously. It means that they take the character progression seriously, and they build their characters as part of a team, and they talk about how they're going to interact and assist each other. All of this means is that the players take the world more seriously, they engage in character discussion and building together, they're excited about every step along the way, and the amount of time it takes to actually achieve the next rank is a little bit unimportant, giving you the freedom to pace a plot in the way that you feel is most appropriate for your table and the campaign you're trying to run. Personally, I really like this, and in a game that only has 6 ranks, it would take more time to go from rank 1 to 2 to 3 than in a game that has perhaps 20 different levels to obtain, where you move through them more quickly. Here it can take a long time, and that's no longer really a problem. So I just wanted to give some feedback for you to hear on what this is like to run. This particular rule set in Tony's workshop is the way I will be running my games of Marvel Multiverse from here on out. I think it's exciting, I think it's fun, it's good for the players, it's good for the narrator, it's the way that I would want to engage in a story if I were a player at the table. So I would highly recommend this. I would recommend running your game in this alternate ruling. Anyway, short video for you today. I just wanted you to hear what it was like to actually run this rule set at the table. I think it's great, personally, and I think it fits the flow of the story really well. If you have used this and you have some thoughts about how it has worked at your table, I'm sure people would love to hear that. They'd love to hear other voices about how this kind of different rule set for leveling a character actually works in gameplay. If you've had experiences, good or bad, I think people would love to hear it in the comments. Anyway, that's it for you. Short video. YouTube's made out of buttons. I hope you press some of them, and I'll see you next time.